We loaded up, looked back at the kill site, and we're like, all right, see ya, let's go to the truck. And got no more, I would say no more than 60 yards down the mountain. And we just hear a crashing and commotion coming down the mountain. And we're looking at each other like, dude, I think there's a bull, bumping cows or something's coming. Like, something's coming fast.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Fair Chase podcast. If you've been following along, you know we've been doing kind of listener stories. So we did a giveaway, and folks that had the best hunting stories were entered to win. And we had so many, we ended up doing a random draw because they were all so good. So David Cammenga here, you were one of the winners. So congratulations first of all, and welcome to the show. Appreciate having you on tonight.
Yeah, appreciate you having me.
So let's get started with the basic questions that we always start with. So tell me your name, where you're from, how long you've been hunting. Give me a little background of who you are.
All right, I am David Cammenga. I'm from Grand Rapids, Michigan. I am 25, 29 years old now. I was 21 back in this story, but I'm originally from Grand Rapids. I grew up hunting ever since I was a little boy. My dad struggled trying to pick which son to take out because we all loved it so much. But
You have brothers, right?
yes, yep, I have a couple brothers. Yes,
Okay.
and I also have a twin brother. Yep.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So you grew up in the Grand Rapids area. So I went to South. Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Covenant Christian.
Conan Christian. Where? Oh yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah. Small world. That's so funny. All right. Well, you had an interesting story, which was unique because you had video to go along with it. So, I mean, after this podcast, we'll have to link to it or something so people can watch this all go down. But, break it down to me, Lee. It's an elk hunt. It's 2017. Tell me about it.
Yep. So basically, 2017, we had gone on a elk hunt prior in 2015 for our first elk hunt with our cousin out in Colorado, and we were new to this thing. So he had pumped us up about it. We had some good encounters on that hunt. I actually got extremely close to a herd bull that we had heard bugling all night by the tents, and we had caught up to him that morning, and I got within probably 40 to 60 yards of him, but couldn't get a shot, and that's all we got. And fast forward 2 more years, me and my twin brother Johnny, we decided to go back out there and give it another shot. And fresh out of high school and 21, and we wanted to do this sweet out of state hunt that everyone talks about. You read in magazines and you watch on TV on the Outdoor Channel. So we went out there, and obviously being our second year out there, you're learning a lot and not going into it a professional by any means. And looking back, we definitely learned a lot and changed and evolved throughout the years of our elk hunts, and
Sure.
where setup's a lot more efficient. So we went into this hunt with just a straight up Cabela's metal steel pack frame that you buy for like $50, and then a hunting backpack, and just strung everything on the back of that thing.
Yeah.
And before we even thought of getting like a bivvy pack or anything like that, that's just kind of how our cousin did it. So we thought that was a standard, new to it.
You do what you were taught. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So we did that, and our plan was, because we had learned about the thermals, how in the evenings, the late evenings to early mornings, all the cold air is dropping down the mountain. So our plan was to camp at the base of the mountain and hunt from there, from camp, and use the wind in our favor up the mountain each morning and hunt our way in, per se. And a couple days into it, we bumped into some elk a couple times, but never gotten into any bugling or anything like that until I believe was our fourth morning. And
We said fourth morning.
yes, yeah,
Well, you didn't. You kind of bummed out, like at some point. Were you a little disheartened going?
a little bit, because we went out opening day. So in 2017, opening day was actually in August. So technically you could say it was in summertime,
Right.
like you don't really think about it, but
Yeah.
so late August, we got in there, and each morning we'd make the probably 1,000 feet incline up the mountain. And being from Michigan, we didn't know the best how to read, topographical maps. So all these lines that are really close together, you think, oh, that's not that bad until you're there and it's a big rock face and you got to try to navigate yourself around them and in the dark of all things too sometimes. And on that fourth morning, we actually heard some bugles and just trucked up the mountain and tried to get on the same elevation as these elk. And unfortunately, we got too high above them and we heard them crashing below us and raking and whatnot, and decided to spend that evening up in some bedding areas that we would walk through, smell elk like crazy where they've been rutting and rubbing. And that night we set up just on the edge of some bedding and just chilled there, and it was kind of overcast, and it was probably, I don't know, maybe a half hour before dark, 15 minutes before dark, and we decided to just let's get to camp while it's somewhat light and we can come back to this area in the morning.
This episode is brought to you by 2O Gear, innovators in technical hunting clothing. 2O is a newer company. It's based right here in Michigan, and whether you're hunting elk in the mountains or chasing antelope in the plains or traipsing through swamps after that ruddy buck, 2O has you covered with premium jackets and pants, merino wool layers, everything you could possibly need to stay comfortable in the woods. Their products are engineered for functionality and durability, ensuring you stay protected in any conditions. Plus, their camo is really effective. We're big fans. So don't take our word for it, though. Go to 2ogear.com and check it out.
And as we start moving down the mountain, we bump an elk, and my brother was in front of me with his bow, and he's ready, and he saw it, and I didn't see it. So I don't know what this thing is, and he's cow calling, and he's saying, it's a bull, it's a bull. He's coming in. He came back. He didn't know what we were, smelled us, so he's coming back in. And this bull comes in through a lane at 30 yards. And once again, we're novice at this. We don't entirely know what we're doing. And we're trying to be super careful and legal about this. So this bull comes through a 30-yard opening, and we aren't sure if it has 4 on each side or 4 on one side. So we're like, I don't know. And any elk hunter with experience would recognize just the frame of the bull. Like, there's no question this thing's legal.
Yeah, right.
And I called my brother off and like, I don't know if it's legal. I don't know if you should shoot. And the bull walks by at 30 yards and curls off. And we're like, oh, I think it was. And he curls off up the mountain, and a herd bull comes in with a cow because we were cow calling, and sneaks in above us at that same time and sits at probably 40 yards above us. And we didn't know what to do, so we did a few cow calls, but they ended up kind of turning and moving off. So it got too dark, and we got out of there with high hopes, knowing kind of right where we wanted to start the next morning.
So this is going into day 5.
Going into day 5.
State are you in again?
What's that?
Colorado?
Colorado, yep.
Okay,
Public land. Just picked a spot on the map and decided to go for it. So we got back to camp and made a game plan of trying to get up there as early as we could and get on them, because this is early season too, so bulls are bugling the first hour to maybe 2 hours of the morning, and then they're quiet. So we wanted to get in there early and got up there as fast as we could the next morning, and didn't hear anything right off the bat, but we kind of paralleled the mountain kind of where we had thought they went to, and sure enough, we heard something off in the distance, heard that really high-pitched whistle, and decided to just get in there after them. And I think we played cat and mouse with them for a good half hour of bulls kind of being above us, not getting them to come in. And then we came into a awesome situation where we heard a herd bull just growling, heading down the mountain into a drainage, and we heard a satellite up the mountain kind of paralleling that bull. So we decided to quit cutting between them. My brother got below him in down the mountain right through a meadow, and I kind of stayed upwards in the meadow just to try to divide and conquer a little bit. We didn't know where this satellite was going to come in, and eventually he did end up working down that same meadow, and there's tons of pine tree patches all throughout, and we're sitting at 10,600 feet and just a little bit below timberline. And sure enough, I see this little satellite bull coming through the trees, and he's about to come through an opening. And I had pre-ranged it at 50 yards, so I knew kind of what I was in for, and I had practiced that, and I was comfortable.
Yeah.
So the bull comes just about to go into the opening, and I lift up to draw. And as he comes into the opening, I start to draw, and he whips his head at me and catches me mid-draw.
Right.
And I wasn't just holding a bow. I was literally halfway drawn. I wasn't like, I didn't know what to do. I was like, oh, just set it back. And he didn't know what was going on. So he just sat and watched. And I was able to settle on him and quick get a shot off. And right when I shot, I heard a big thwack. And initially, I didn't know if I even hit him because he whirled and just took off. Dust was everywhere. Looked like a racehorse taking off.
Yeah.
And I thought I hit a rock just by the sound of the thwack. So I quick put an arrow on my bow again and kind of slowly started creeping where I shot him. And unbeknown to Johnny, he didn't know I shot. So he hears this bull take off and think that, oh shoot, he must have gotten a whiff of us. No, it's over. And he comes out of the brush to where I was and sees an arrow on my bow. So he's like, oh, he didn't shoot.
We blew it. Yeah. Right.
And we blew it. Like we had this one opportunity, and I'm like, no, I shot. Like I think I might have hit him. I'm not sure. And he just lights up. Like, really? You hit him? You think? And we go over there to where the site of the shot was, and we did a little look in. Didn't see any blood, but we ended up finding the back half of my arrow, and just a little bit of blood and hair on the end of it, and he had snapped it off. So we knew we hit him, and we didn't know where initially. So we decided to give it a little time and try to eat some breakfast. And obviously, with a shot like that, you don't have any appetite.
You're never like thinking about food.
Guts just twisting, and decided to replay the shot and figure out where this bull went down the mountain. So we kind of did that, got in there to where he went, and we no longer got into that timber, and a bull started pushing some cows past us at like 50, 60 yards. So we got ready, and unfortunately didn't come close enough. And we weren't sure if that was my bull or if it was that herd bull. So we were kind of like back and forth. If he's fine, maybe I just hit him low and something happened that we missed, and decided to back out, get back to the side of the shot, and just replay it again, make sure we didn't miss anything. And we kind of felt like we went down the mountain too low from where we thought he ran. So we kind of reset up our track and split up again and just kind of followed elk trails, because at this point we haven't seen a speck of blood yet. So we're kind of still wary about, like, are we even going to find this thing? Like I might as well notch my tag now. I don't think we're gonna find this thing.
Right.
And
I feel terrible.
I feel horrible, like you had that one chance and you think you screwed it up,
That's right.
And and when we were replaying the shot, I ranged the spot again and it was 60 yards. So I was like, oh no, like, dude, I must have hit him low or something. Like, oh shoot. And we split up and looked for a good 15 or so minutes, and Johnny started cow calling at me, and he had found him just laying out in an opening, no blood, just body search basically. And we ran up in there and we were so pumped, man. We were geeked. We had done this by ourselves.
Yeah.
No help. And we were new to this and we didn't know what we were doing. And it was time, for the work to begin. And we cut the bull up in about 3 hours or so, got the meat hanging, and decided to get our packs all situated and started the first pack out to the truck.
Hunters, when you're gearing up in the field or at home, you need tools as tough as you are. Tecton, a family-owned company from Grand Rapids, Michigan, makes hand tools with classic design and top-notch function. Perfect for pros and weekend warriors. Their sockets, ratchets, wrenches, screwdrivers, pliers, and organization systems are built to last. Tecton's growing, and it's hiring for roles in manufacturing, engineering, software, marketing, and more. Check out Tecton.com to shop tools or apply.
So we had just our hunting backpacks. So we left our frames at the camp,
Yeah.
and we decided if we shot something, we'd go back to camp, get our frame, try to be lightweight. So the whole goal was having a camp and hunt out of camp as lightweight as possible. And nowadays I do the complete opposite. I do bivvy hunt. I take everything with me so that takes out all the extra trips and miles that you have to take to otherwise do any kind of process. Yep. So we had our hunting backpacks. So we got as much back straps, neck meat, anything small that we could fit in our packs, and got a pack out to the truck and circled through camp, came back up with our, big metal frames, big old clunky things, and got back to the kill site that afternoon. And I got the whole hide and head on my pack, got it tied up, and we're filming this, and we think this is awesome. Like, we're second pack out, like, we're exhausted, and this is like, we're so awesome. Like, we're doing this and living the dream. And then we got our packs on our backs, and we turn to leave, and we look up 30 yards away. There's this big black bear just sitting on his haunches watching us, and we're just like, we've never seen a bear before, so like, what do we do? Like, is this thing aggressive? He did seem aggressive, just kind of curious watching us.
Yeah.
And it was kind of cool because this black bear was like a cinnamon phase, like a reddish phase. So not like the typical black, dark coat they have. And we tried to shoo him off and yell at him just to kind of shoo him off the kill. And he was just getting all grumbly and angry with us because we kept yelling at him. He's just like, dude, I'm just chilling here, guys. Like, what's up? Yeah. And we decided to quick throw a trail cam up on a tree over the kill site, just see what happens when we leave, and let's just get out of here. And got the second pack out, done back to the truck, and decided let's just stay at camp tonight, because by the time we get to the kill, load up our packs, it's going to be dark, and we're not going to mess with a bear in the dark. And I'm sure there's hardcore hunters out there that a black bear doesn't bother them, but us Michiganders that are new to the whole thing, I don't know what this bear is gonna do. We're gonna take it easy. So we slept on it and didn't get much of sleep, and went in the next morning when it was light and made a whole ton of noise, yelling, banging rocks together, and got up to the kill site the next morning, and the whole kill site hadn't been touched. Nothing was touched up. We were kind of expecting half the meat to be ripped and shredded apart, meat bags to be strewn everywhere, and it was looked like nothing had touched it. So we thought, like, clear sailing rest of the morning. We're gonna load up our gear that we had ditched, all of the rest of the meat, and we're out of here and we're done. And this is awesome.
Yeah.
And got the rest of the meat on. It might have been just like a hind quarter or two and a front quarter, and we loaded up, looked back at the kill site, and we're like, all right, see ya, let's go to the truck. And got no more, I would say no more than 60 yards down the mountain. And we just hear a crashing and commotion coming down the mountain. And we're looking at each other like, dude, I think there's a bull, bumping cows, or something's coming. Like, something's coming fast. And we look up ahead of us, and that same blackbird jumps up on a log probably 30 yards away and starts walking down it right at us.
Really?
And we're defenseless. I think Johnny had his big buck gut knife, and I had my hatchet, but I put it away because there's no bear at the kill site. Why would you need that? Why would you carry that? And our parents had told us, like, you should probably have bear spray, probably have pistols, and you never know. And we're like, we didn't see bears when we were hunting, Mom, Dad. We don't need stuff. We're fine. And and of course this bear comes in and comes walking down the log right at us, and we're yelling at this thing at the top of our lungs, trying to keep her cool and just trying to get him out of there. And the thing just is, he's doing I don't know if anyone would recognize them, like when they're agitated, they make that like chomp, like biting. He was doing that like crazy because he was just like just getting mad at us because we were yelling at him, and he was just checking us out. And I'm sure the people listening will know what the size of a big black bear is, but to us it seemed big. And when I've been in the Smoky Mountains this past summer, I seen some black bears there, and they seemed half the size, if that, of a bear. So we were under the impression this was a big bear, and we're gonna get mauled to death on the mountain, and nothing will happen.
Your trophy photos are buried in your phone, and the details from your best hunts are already getting fuzzy. Trophium fixes that. It's the app built specifically for hunters and anglers to document every detail: location, weather, gear, and the full story, preserving your memories and allowing you to share them with your crew in private groups. Download Trophium today wherever you get your apps or at trophium.co.
So this bear, we're yelling at the top of our lungs, and I remember just in the back of my mind, just like keep your cool, and it's funny because at the time I almost told Johnny, like, don't tell him where we're going. Like when you say something, wait, he can't understand it. Why would he even think that way? Because you're like, you don't know what to do, and then you yelling at him, and finally we kind of intimidated in him enough, and he kind of backed off and circled away from us. And we just took shifts of one man watches him while the other guy goes down the mountain 50 yards, turns around, watches him. The one guy goes past him, the other guy watches him, and then we just
It's like ingenious. Like that's some good problem solving for game. Did that bear follow you anymore?
So he kind of shadowed us for maybe 80 yards to 100 yards, but then he kind of peeled off, and we actually kind of went away from the truck and just probably went a half mile out of our way just to avoid him, because we were originally going down a drainage that was heading towards the truck, but we figured if we keep doing that, this thing might cross paths with us again. And so we hightailed it out of there, and we're just exhausted, and we're just done. Like, we've had enough excitement from it, and finally we end up getting back to the truck and everything, and just exhausted as ever, but feeling accomplished because we finally made it work, and we were able to successfully tag a Colorado public land bull. And
Dude, that's a big account. And you said that was right out of high school?
yeah, we were, because I graduated in 2015, and then I feel like the year or two after, we got to make it out there.
And after that you figured it out, like, what would you say, like, how'd you get into them? What was your secret to getting into those bulls your first time?
So I would say just cover a lot of ground was the biggest thing. Early season when it's hot or just warm weather, and only cool weather you got is, overnight and into the morning or late into the evening, those bulls were shutting up within the hour after light. So our biggest thing we did on that trip was get to the top first thing in the morning as it's getting light, and we're going to be on top of them. And nowadays, and on past elk hunt trips years after that, we bivvy hunted, so we would carry camp on our backs everywhere we went.
So every morning you get up, you pack it all up in your pack, you get up you have your breakfast, and then you just walk with everything with you.
Yep. So nowadays, if I would elk hunt, I'd probably run in 30 to 40 pounds of gear and food and such. And the biggest thing is if you're hunting out of a camp, the biggest thing is covering lots of ground, because with baby hunting, you're able to take camp with you, so you're very flexible with where the elk are and being on top of the elk where they are, not knowing where they are, but then having to leave them to come back the next day. So that's kind of how we evolved throughout the years to be a lot more efficient and just saving time and energy that way, because we burnt a lot of energy that one year doing that. And I mean, we climbed 1,000 vertical feet every morning, like, I don't know, an hour or two before light. And yep. And thankfully we're able to tag some grouse and eat some grouse while we're out there. That year was really plentiful year for grouse, so we were able to
the best. Like, I love shooting a grouse. I was just teaching a kid how to do this, but you step on the wings and you pull the legs up, and you can pull the breast, deep breast it that way. And I mean, it's a beautiful thing.
Yep.
So you that's how you locate him. You ended up, you mentioned naming this bull Barry because of the bears, which makes total sense. We know. Now you've gone back before. Like, do you have any trepidation for running into more bears, or like have you gotten more used to bears now that you've done this? I'm guessing have you gone back? Have you done this since?
Yeah, so we've gone. So we went in 2018. Then the following year, and my brother, my twin brother, actually tagged out on a bull, like a big, respectable public land bull for the area.
Nice.
Over 300, probably around 330, and that's another story for another time. That was an incredible hunt that I'll never forget.
Sweet.
But same kind of area. We were within a mile of this bull that I shot when we shot his. And after that we never really ran into bears too much. A lot more like just far encounters where you'd see them in the distance, but nothing as close and um sketchy like that. Because the biggest thing for us is defenseless and just dinner bell of 60 pounds to 80 pounds of meat on her back, just like asking for a mauling.
Yeah, I want that.
And you hear about how black bears, if they fight you, you're fighting to the death. You're not playing dead. So then you're just like,
fight back with that one.
yeah.
And then just, I mean, that was was that your first ever trip out west?
That was our second. The 2015 hunt was our first, and kind of just opened our eyes to it and just saw how possible it is for any individual to do this. And being from Michigan, it seemed intimidating, but with having her cousin be our guide, so-called guide, kind of gave us that confidence to go over the edge and just dive, head first into the sport of elk hunting. And ever since then, each year we gained confidence in the areas we hunted and just got better in our techniques and just got into more and more elk each and every year. So
Hunters, listen up. Latitude Outdoors builds gear for the mobile hunter. Their saddle hunting systems are designed to cut weight, not performance, so you can cover more ground and set up fast, wherever the hunt takes you. From dense hardwoods to open ridges, their mobile-focused gear keeps you efficient and adaptable. Check out their full range at latitudeoutdoors.com. I love that too, because just, like there's nothing you can read and you can watch and you can even listen to people telling you what to do or how to do it, but like until you're there doing it, it's just totally different when you get your boots like on the ground. So to see you guys going and getting after it, it's cool, and a lot of people should hear that and like be encouraged. Like,
yes,
go, I mean, go, whether you get one or not, like ignore
yes.
social media and everything else. Just go get out there. The trip will change your life. If you've never done a trip like that before, it really will change the way you think about everything. So, I mean,
Oh yeah.
yeah, now look at behind. Is that the bull you shot behind you? That's not the one.
Yes. So this is the bull I shot. Yep.
Heck yeah.
And I didn't say it in the video, I'm sorry, or in the podcast, but when we looked at where I hit him, it was right beyond the shoulder.
Really? That was gonna ask. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. So what we think happened is I hit behind the shoulder. I missed the heart, but I think I hit a vital artery right by the heart.
Yeah.
And when I shot him, he whipped so hard, he just snapped the arrow right off when it hit him.
Sure.
And that's why we found that back half of the arrow sitting there.
Oh, and that's gonna cut down on blood quite a bit without the 2 holes and then it being broken off in there like that. It'll also kind of dig around, if it's in your line, you're running around, you're
right,
ripping stuff.
Yep. And it's funny too because we found him and there wasn't a drop of blood on the ground under him. Like you could flip that bull over and there wasn't blood on the ground.
Really?
And when we cut him up and we ended up just digging in the cavity and just see what I even hit, and his cavity was just chock full of blood. So he bled all internally, and the arrow snapped off like the exact size of the rib cage. So that arrow didn't actually like sit there and wreak havoc. I don't think. I think it got in there, ended right up against the other side of the rib cage, and just snapped off and just sat there. And that's why we didn't find any blood, and that's why we found him the way we did. But
what's your broadhead? What were you using?
I was using a 3-blade Muzzy.
Muzzy, okay. Is that your go-to still? Is that your
Nope. I've been recently switched to the what is it? G5 the Mega Meat.
Is that what you have?
Yeah.
All of us here at the Fair Chase are quite big fans of the Mega Meats. They've done this for us. We have no sponsorship or any official affiliation with them, but I love that broadhead.
Yep. Oh yeah. I've shot in a fair share of some other ones, and I feel like every broadhead has a hit or miss moment where you have the one blood trail that's, up here on the level of like intensity of blood, and then you have another one where you're just, just hands and knees looking for blood. And with every shot too that you're taking on an animal, it's all about placement. It's not necessarily the broadhead you use. You can advertise everything about the broadhead's the best, but really all it takes is the placement. And
no, I agree. I mean, I've had great blood trails from, I shot the 3-blade Muzzy forever. And I've had terrible blood trails from, I shot a buck with a beast broadhead, which is, 2-inch cutting diameter, expensive broadhead. And vice versa. I've had poor bloodhead trail with a 3-blade, and I've shot, had a great success with the beast broadhead. So, I mean, like you said, it really is mostly where you hit it, obviously. I feel like part of it too is just you get confident in one and then you get a little swagger. So it's like you got when I throw my mega meats on, I'm like, I feel so deadly now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, I appreciate you coming on. Like, I love these stories where it's your first time, and what's learned and how it goes, where, you're maybe not exactly your first time, but like as you're learning, just because, it's just good to hear people are out there figuring it out. Like that, just there are other people in the world, that can appreciate that kind of thing. So,
Yep.
I love that you did that. Appreciate you reaching out and for sharing your story.
Yeah. I appreciate you having me on. It's always fun reliving that hunt, because you don't talk about it often. The mount sits on the wall for a while, and then you go downstairs and you see it, and you kind of just sit there and sigh a little bit and then move on. But yeah, every time I get to tell it, it just gives me butterflies per se. So yeah.
I know I do this. I do the same thing. I'll sit there and like gaze upon the trophies on the wall, and they are trophies. You put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in them. Yeah, so we're celebrating them for sure. That's cool. I'll definitely make sure to point to this video that you guys took of it, because that just adds a little color to it. But David, thanks again for coming on, and everybody else who's listening, check us out next week. We'll have more.